I passed the Top Step Funded Challenge in just 3 trading days, and this is where most traders overtrade and don't even get close to the end target. And I was in that position once too, but once I had the rules and the system set in place to then be patient enough to take these high quality trades, then that's why I got funded in just 3 trading days. I only focused on the levels and the order flow confirmations that actually mattered, and I'm going to show you in this video all the trades that I took and the order flow confirmations that I saw for these trades. And if you understand what I'm going to show you in this video, you will stop forcing trades and you'll start taking the real ones that actually matter. So let's get right into the trade reviews. So the biggest things that helped me get funded is waiting for the right levels, like higher time frame right levels. If there's this day without a trade, then it's completely fine, but the next day you might get a banger trade off of a very key level. So that's what I did. I stopped over trading. I did proper risk management using the same risk every single trade, going to break even quite quickly. I gave my stop losses a little bit more room as well, because I did see that many times I get stopped out once or twice before the actual winning trade is there. So that's why I use a little bit more of a bigger stop loss. Maybe my reward is a little bit smaller, but then I'm more patient with taking my targets or my partials as well. So all of those little details that I switched helped me be a lot more relaxed and a lot more comfortable in taking my trades as well. And that's what led to me getting funded. So right here, I'm going over the first trade, and I'm going to start off always with the higher time frame. And I drew this red zone over here because this is the day that I took my first trade on 16 December. And as you can see, we had this massive area of support / demand, however you want to call it, from 3 times already that it's supported, and maybe even more. Yeah, right over here, look, supported so many times already. But then eventually we did break down on the 16th of September below it, and then that means to me, okay, the sellers are strong, breaking below the support, and if we revisit that level, those same sellers might be there waiting to sell again. And that's exactly what happened. So we broke down below it, sellers were strong to break down below that support, and during the pre-market we started already rallying up towards that level again, and then right on market open we basically opened there. And what I will show you now on the order flow is what I saw to actually enter this trade and then catch like a 5.5 hour trade, a little bit like 30 minutes into market open. So let's jump into the lower time frame and into the order flow confirmation. So we're right now on the 1 minute time frame, and as you can see here, this is the level that I just showed you on the higher time frame, and this is where market opened. And in this consolidation, which I'll show you in a minute, there was a lot of, not that strong of buying, but a lot of strong selling coming in, and that's what led the market to go down. But then we popped back up right into that level, right above high day since market opened, and then all these buyers here got trapped. But it wasn't enough for me to short this already, because I didn't want to go against that aggressive buying that broke above high day, that came into this level again, because who knows, the level might get broken and the buyers step in strong again. So I wanted to see the weakness first and the rejection of those sellers to show their strength, that they're still at that level. I want to see them present first and then wait for the right opportunity to get in short. That's exactly what I did. The sellers showed their strength, and then we popped back up right into the highs, and that's where I shorted. So let's jump right into the order flow confirmation on the Bookmap. And as you can see here, this is the consolidation right from market open, as I said. And there's not a lot of excitement of buyers. Like, there's some buying, but the overall like stronger participant in this consolidation were the sellers. Then they broke down, and then a hell of a lot of buying came in. Look at that aggressive buying. You can see that here on the bottom as well on the volume. A lot of buying came in, and they went right up above high day, and then they started consolidating again in that level of resistance, which is right over here in that red zone. So that's why I waited to see the weakness first. Buyers and sellers came in strong to then eventually look for an entry. Here, this wasn't enough for me. This was just like a pullback to then go to the highs again. I would have wanted this structure to get broken to then look for shorts. That didn't happen, so I didn't short here. And then we went into the highs. More buyers got trapped at the highs. Look at all this green bubbles here, all that buying at the highs that's not getting paid. They got in here right at the top, and as soon as price starts going down, they're in drawdown, they're in pain, and they might get stopped out. So these buyers are all trapped at the highs. Then price sells off, breaks all of these lows, which then to me confirms the weakness. And then as soon as we pop back up into the highs, this is where I see more trap buying. This is where I see buyers try, but they fail once again, and then aggressive selling steps in. And that's where I got in short around the 74s. And let me speed this up for you a little bit and play the actual confirmation that I saw. You see the buyers are getting trapped, they're trying again, these offers are getting filled, some sellers are already reacting quite strongly. We pop up once more, but then those buyers fail again to even break the high here. Weaker buying as well, like you see almost no buying here at the high, and then aggressive selling starts stepping in, and this is where I got short here at the 74.25s right over here, and I targeted just above low day to not get stopped out, and it was a very clean trade. It went straight down, and that gave me the 5.5 hour for that day, where I earned $1,800. So that's a very clean execution, very just a clean confirmation on the order flow. Nothing wrong with this trade, like a literally A+ in my my mind and in my playbooks, and then it just sold off very aggressively, as you can see. So that's the first trade. I want to say as well, every single trade is almost exactly the same. It might be a long or the other one might be a short, but the overall context of the trade that I look for is always going to be the same. The order flow confirmation that I look for is always going to be the same. If I'm shorting, I want to look for trap buyers, weaker buyers, where then aggressive selling starts stepping in. And if I, like in reverse for a long setup, I want to see trap sellers. I want to see the selling dwindle. I want to see it getting smaller and weaker at a key area of demand or support to then take the market long. So every time it's exactly the same. The scenario might be a little bit different, but the overall foundation of every single trade is always going to be the same. So let's hop into the second trade that I took. So now my second trade of the funded challenge is one of my favorite setups, where if there's a large sell-off on a certain day, I really like these types of setups, and I've seen them work time and time again, and I think they're a very high probability setup as well. So the day before we sold off, right? We took that short and then price supported here, and there was a lot of buyers that stepped in here and a lot of trap sellers that then eventually pushed price higher again to that same level where that resistance was. So then market opened, we sold off. I didn't catch anything. The sell-off was way too aggressive. It was right from market open as well, and I wanted to wait for a little bit more of a pop to the upside to get in short. So we sold off. I couldn't catch it. It was very, very quick, very aggressive, and we basically just sold off right past that demand or where buyers were strong the previous day. And in my mind, if we sold off that aggressively past it with a lot of aggressive selling and buyers couldn't even hold it for a couple of minutes, maybe 15 minutes, that to me shows more weakness. And if we break that level and then retest it, which you have to pay attention to because that's the whole thesis to this trade, that's where I am interested in taking a short, because buyers were strong the day before. Now they can't support it anymore. And if sellers are breaking past it and buyers try to get back in the range, they try to get back up to the upside, those sellers that broke it down originally are going to want to reject it once again. So that's the whole thesis behind this trade. We broke down below previous day low, and once we came up to maybe revisit that or maybe claim back up in the range, we rejected the previous day low once again, and that's just a very clean setup. So let's jump right into the lower time frame and into the order flow confirmation. This is how it looks on the lower time frame. I'm on the 1 minute. Market open over here. We rejected in the pre-market that same level as the day before, and we just started selling off straight away, consolidated over here, and then we had a massive sell-off just straight down right to previous day low, and we break below it. So this is the previous day low. Remember, this gray line is very crucial. So we sell off very aggressively and we sell off right through it. The sellers are very aggressive, and I can show it to you on the Bookmap now as well in the order flow. So market open is right over here. Start selling off. This that consolidation where all the buyers got trapped, and then we sold off very aggressively right to the downside. Let me show you one trick as well, or not a trick, just the information that if it's a trending day either to the upside or the downside, in this case it's on the downside, we're selling off very aggressively. On the volume profile, this is now a little bit too aggressive, but if I zoom in a little bit, you can see these little waves of volume, these little bulges of volume. That's an indication of a trending day. That's an indication of the market is continuing in this trend, in this direction, and in this case it's down. So that's also what gave me the extra confirmation. Okay, we sold off below previous day low. We are in a downtrending day because if the volume profile is distributed this way, that usually means continuation to that direction. So it's creating all these small little low volume nodes, but then you have to pick the right area and the right low volume node to actually trade from, because there might have been 10 low volume nodes and maybe 9 of them got blown through. But then the most important for me is the previous day low, because if we reclaim that, that might be a bullish indication. So I really want the sellers to reject that. So if all of those levels can align with a low volume node, previous day low rejection, trap buyers again, structure on the Bookmap on the order flow, that's a perfect trade for me. So let me show you right here where I actually took the trade from. So as you can see here on the chart, the previous day low was around the 19s, and that aligns perfectly with this structure here on the Bookmap, where buyers, this is what I like to use structure for a continuation trade. Like for now it's a short. This is where an area where buyers try to step in, try to push price to the upside, but then they failed and it broke down again. I like to take this low and the high of this like kind of movement, this structure, to then look for, okay, let's see what sellers are going to do here and if they're going to reject. If it gets above this here, I would not be as bearish anymore, because this structure is failing, then the downtrend is kind of changing, switching directions, and then you gotta make a whole new playbook for that. So this was an area where I wanted to look for shorts. We had all this volume here at low day, as you can see here as well. We had all this consolidation, which is a great target for a trade, and that's exactly what happened. So let me play it to you here. We're approaching our level. We're coming right into the zone where I want to look for shorts. This is right at previous day low as well, as you remember, around the 19s. So that structure is there. The low volume is there on the order flow, on the volume profile right over here, we're in a low volume node, we're rejecting previous day low, and this is exactly here where I got short at 1750, because I saw all the buying coming in, and then I saw these two offers here fill, and then selling started coming in. I saw weaker buying on this pullback, and I wanted to try it here at 1750 with that whole thesis in my mind of the previous day low rejection and everything I just said, targeting low day. And it was a pretty quick trade, to be honest. More buying got trapped. I had a 4-point stop loss here at 2150, right above this high, and I was targeting a break of low day. And then as soon as I saw weakness, I went out, and I went out here at the 80150s. So that's a very clean trade, very clean analysis. One of my favorite setup, especially for a big sell-off day. This is really what I like to do, using previous structure and a break and retest. I really like that. So let's hop into the third trade now. So then the third and the final trade that got me funded was a quick one. And also, let me go over, this is not really like a higher time frame level. This is more intraday, very quick on the spot level. We had news, I think it was CPI here, that came out and had a massive pump. And then there was some structure here that I'll show to you now on the Orderflow. And then here, there was some structure here of a lot of strong buying that came in that then eventually supported price multiple times. So that's where I came up with that level. So let me go right into the lower time frame and show you the trade that I actually took. So right here we're on the 1 minute, and this is the structure that I was talking about right over here, where CPI news that I think it was pumped up, then sellers tried a little bit, but then we kept grinding up and buyers were strong. So I was willing, if this came back, this got supported here, this structure, which if this broke, I wouldn't even probably be looking for long. But then market opened, sold off, and we supported here once. I didn't catch this one, but then as soon as we pulled back into that same level again, into this kind of market structure demand as well, that's where I found enough confirmation to get long. That's where I saw a lot of trapped sellers, which I'm going to show to you now on the Orderflow. So you have this market structure demand here where price supported previously on top of that structure of news. So we sold off very aggressively, and then right as we come in there, we stop and we start very like slow price action, consolidating, and sellers are not going anywhere anymore, and they're not getting paid. They're not successful at bringing price lower and breaking low day. So in my mind, this was kind of forming to be trap selling, but I waited a little bit more patiently for an actual proper confirmation. And then I saw all these bids here at the lows of this consolidation, and I saw these bids. So then I saw this sudden drop right into that bid, weaker selling than before. Look at the size of this selling, look at the size of these red bubbles, and then look at the size of this. Like there's almost no selling at the bottom here of this quick little sudden drop. So that to me was very interesting. And then as soon as I saw like this heavy aggressive buying coming in, that's why I took it long here at the 28 with a 4-point stop loss at the 24, and then I targeted just below high day where all that selling kind of originated, right here around the 40s. That's why I targeted, and it was a very quick trade. This one flew right to target. As soon as that selling got trapped, and all these people that are selling right at the low here, right at the bottom, as soon as price starts going up, they're going to be in pain, they're going to be in drawdown, and their stop losses are going to get hit. And that's what causes this very quick reaction to the upside, and that's what makes price move up so quickly, because all these people that are shorting at the lows, they're getting stopped out, and all their stop losses are actually buy orders, and that's what moves the market so high and so quickly to the upside, because all these people are getting stopped out while there's aggressive buying stepping into the market as well. So that's the third and final setup that got me funded. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you took anything away from these levels, Orderflow confirmations that I use as well, because my edge is not just Orderflow or my key levels, it's them combined. Like I use these levels just to see what price is going to do there. I'm not sure that I'm going to trade from it. I might ignore what Orderflow tells me, and then I might not have a trade. But I have my levels, and then I wait for a price to come into there, and then I gauge the Orderflow, who's stronger or who's weaker, and then I take my trade from what I see on the Orderflow. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.